Welcome to the best gambling show on the internet. This is the home of the money pick. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe. Enormous week last week. 4-1 on Patreon. 3-0 on the live betting show on YouTube. 4-1 on money picks, and there's 5 or 6 dweebs who want to bury me, who want to see me go away. Another year of Lawson riding, another year of Lawson rolling. Let's get this money. Merry Christmas, happy holidays, week 16. Let's get into it. Thank all of you. Next game, we got the Atlanta Falcons at the Baltimore Ravens. Falcons are plus 7.5. I got the Falcons to cover, Ravens to win. When we say Ravens, we say backdoor cover, and I don't like a whole lot about the Ravens. The only thing I like about the Ravens is Lamar Jackson, and he will be back in action for this game. I think it's enough to win. And Desmond Ridder was absolutely terrible against the Saints. We got that money pick, but it wasn't because of one Desmond Ridder, but Arthur Smith just has a way of slowing down the tempo of games. He has a way of getting the run game going. Algiers is absolutely enormous, and I think you can run the ball against this Ravens defense. It's just had that hunch all year. The Browns were able to do it. I think the Falcons cover. Ravens win the game. Next game, Thursday night football. We got the Jacksonville Jags at the New York Jets. Jags are plus 1. Money, money, money! Money! Jags to win in the cover. Yes, we bet on Lawrence the whole year. And I know this one is risky. We know this Jets defense is not a joke. We know Sauce Gardner is one of the best corners in the league. But my problem's with Zach Wilson. It's looking as if Mike White will not start. If Mike White starts this game, I will get a little bit nervous. But Zach Wilson was throwing balls up in the air for 5 seconds just for anyone. It was absolutely terrible if you saw that game. I think the Jags do the little things better. I think the Jags are rushing the passer at a higher level than they were earlier in the year. And I just can't see the Jets getting consistent movement on offense. And everyone was telling me, the Jets run game's good, man. It hasn't went away. No, it's been completely non-existent in these last 5 or 6 weeks. I think the Jags run the rock better. The Jags haven't even been running the rock better. Imagine if they got Etienne going with Lawrence performance. This comes down to quarterbacks, and give me Lawrence, give me the long hair over Zach Wilson. Jags plus 1, make it a damn money pick. Jags win the game. Next game, we got the Washington no-names at the San Francisco 49ers. No names are plus 7. I got the 49ers to win in the cover. And as someone who was cautioning people about betting the Commanders last week, I'm here to caution you again. I know 7 is an awful lot. I know Brock Purdy isn't your dream starting quarterback or your QB1. But let me tell you, man, this San Fran defense is going to absolutely annihilate the offensive line of the no-names. If Thibodeau is tearing you up, what is Joey Bosa going to do? What is Armstead going to do through that middle? I just think this whole Commander charade is falling down and crumbling like it should. People were overrating them, and you get to Taylor Heineke. We're even talking about getting Carson Wentz back in the mix, and Heineke just throws balls up carelessly, and yes, he will get some luck, but after 4 or 5 weeks, you're not going to get the same luck. 49ers get 2 or 3 turnovers. They win the game. They run the ball good. Next game, we got the Buffalo Bills at the Chicago Bears. The Bears. Bills are minus 9. I got the Bears to cover, Bills to win. And I don't want to get crazy here, but I do think the Bills on a little bit of an upset watch. And whenever we think they're starting to turn the corner to be a dominant team, they take 2 steps back. And you see what Justin Fields is doing, the magic this man is working on the field week in and week out. There isn't a lot of science. I just think Fields makes 4 or 5 big plays, and The Bears defense is really bad. We all know that. I'm not going to try to sugarcoat it, but they did look a wee bit better last week against the Eagles. I'm looking for positives, but I just think the Bears are able to keep this game close. I think this is going to be one of the late season head scratchers, and I would not be surprised if this was a one-score, 3-point game. Bills win the game, but give me the Bears to cover. Next game, we got the Detroit Lions, Dan Campbell at the Carolina Panthers. Lions are -2.5. Money, money, money. Money, Lions to win in the cover. Dan Campbell, we've been riding it all year. Why not ride it till the train goes off the rails, so to speak? And this Panthers team, they were really disappointing against the Steelers. And one thing when we think of the Panthers, we think of good defense. This just didn't show up against Mitchell Trubisky. I think he started the game with like a 21-play drive. Correct me if I'm wrong. And that's going to be an issue. And this Lions offense never got into full rhythm and full gusto against the Jags. But they played a professional game. They didn't turn the ball over. They didn't make mistakes. Goff wasn't throwing balls up for 50-50 shots. It was a really safe professional performance, and I think we see a similar thing from the Lions. I think we see this defense continuously step up, and I don't think Sam Darnold's the guy to take advantage of this Lions defense. And also, I know the Jets running game isn't good. I know the Vikings running game isn't good, but we have to give this Lions defense a little tip of the fedora. I mean, they've been stopping the run really well the last 4 or 5 weeks. I think that's the key to this game. Lions winning the cover, keep the playoff hopes alive, make it a money pick. Next game, we got the Philadelphia Eagles at the Dallas Cowboys. Philly +6. Listen, this is just a complete letdown, and we were looking forward to this game. I got Philly to cover, Dallas to win. For those who haven't seen the news, it looks as if Minshew's going to start, and I don't think Minshew is good at all. Everyone hypes him up, kind of similar to Mike Glennon's career. But with that being said, I think Philly's able to run the ball. I think the way to attack Dallas's defense is right up in the interior to their linebackers. I think Philly will run it. Philly will keep it close. The defense will show up. But I don't like betting games like this when you got one team giving up on the season, and it's awful early to rest Hurts. It really is, man. Like, we got 3 weeks left, and they're going to get a bye in the playoffs. How much rest is too much rest? I guess we'll find out. Give me Philly to cover, Dallas to win. Please do not bet this game. Next game, we got the New Orleans Saints at the Cleveland Browns. Browns are -3. Money, money, money. Money. Browns to win in the cover. They were a money pick last week. We live betted them as well, and I know the weather's going to be bad in this game, but doesn't that favor the Cleveland Browns? And we actually saw signs of life from Deshaun Watson last week, and people don't want to bet him because they don't want to put on the villain mask. I completely understand, but that doesn't change the way I break down games. The way the Saints left the Falcons in that game last week was absolutely hysterical, and I could not even predict it. I just see a Saints team that's given up. I see a Saints defense that's old, and you know, when Tyler Algiers is tearing you up for 8-9 yards a carry, the last guy you want to see in your circumference is Nick Chubb running at you. I just think Nick Chubb pounds the living hell out of them. I think the Saints give up late in the game, and I don't think there's an awful lot Andy Dalton can do. We're finally seeing this Cleveland Browns team play better ball since Deshaun Watson came back. Give me the Browns -3 to win in the cover, make it a money pick. Next game, AFC South. We got the Houston Texans at the Tennessee Titans. Titans are -7. I got the Titans to win in the cover. I will be teasing the Titans this week down. I'm not confident that they cover this spread. I'm not confident in anything they can do, but we need to remember, we need to take a deep breath. The Houston Texans defense is the worst team against the run in the league, and you're going to get a heavy dose of Derrick Henry. We don't know if Tannehill's going to do a lot. That ankle injury against the Chargers wasn't looking good at all. Not a lot of science. Titans run the ball better than the Texans, and I do think some of this Texans luck would run out. I felt like that Texans game last week against the Chiefs was just designed to bust teasers. I mean, that's where I'm at with it. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe. Lawson Bets NFL on Instagram. Come follow your boy. Merry Christmas. Next game. Speaking of Christmas presents, great game coming up. We got the Las Vegas Raiders at the Pittsburgh Steelers. Vegas is +3. I got Vegas to win in the cover with the upset, and I was really impressed with what the Steelers did against the Panthers last week. A lot of people were counting them out. I didn't. But when I look at this game, I just think adding Renfro and Waller counts for something. I do think there'll be a little bit of an emotional boost, a little bit of more verb with the Raiders after that miracle win against the Patriots. And I'm looking at this game, and I'm seeing a Steelers team that can't pass the ball well. And we know the way to attack the Raiders is getting 3 wide receivers. Hell, maybe even put a 4th out there, and you slang it often and early. I just don't think the Steelers are the team to do that. Steelers are at their best when Najee Harris is running. I think the Raiders stack the box, stop the run, and I think they make more plays on offense. Now, the reason why the Raiders are not a money pick is because they go ghost games. They'll play 2 good quarters and 2 of the worst quarters you'll ever see in football history. That's why I can't make them a money pick. But give me the Raiders +3 to win in the cover on the road to Pittsburgh. Next game, we got the Green Bay Packers at the Miami Dolphins. Miami is -6. I got Miami to win in the cover. I'm just sticking to what I'm sticking to, man. I like this Dolphins team. I was one of the few people who had them to cover last week. I'm just sticking with them. This game opened at -4.5, and I wanted to make it a money pick, but at -6, it's just a bit too rich for me. I got the Dolphins to win in the cover. I think this Packers team's really bad, man, and I think their defense is overrated. I think their offensive line is overrated. I think their coaching staff is overrated. When I look at this game, I just don't see enough explosive plays from the Packers. And sure, screen pass if Aaron Jones can get 30 yards, but what are the wide receivers going to do? Are we still holding out Hop for Dobbs, and are we still hoping Christian Watson can hold on to a pass? I'm certainly not. I love Aaron Rodgers, but give me Miami in a comeback performance, in a pound the chest type performance. Miami to win in the cover with the -6. I hope it works down this week so we can bet the thing. Next game, we got the Cincinnati Bengals, Burrow at the New England Patriots. Bengals are -3.5. Money, money, money. Money. Bengals to win in the cover. This is another game that opened at -4.5, -5. On Monday, I was looking at it, and I was like, okay, I can't bet this. But now that it's down to -3.5, Bengals winning the cover. Let's not change anything up from last week. And last week we did think maybe that Bucs game was a little bit of a trap, but we still had to fire the shot. We couldn't back down. We couldn't question our confidence. And it's the same thing with this game. This Patriots team is extremely limited on offense, and the Bengals have problems at corner, but I haven't seen anyone take advantage of it. And I certainly don't think this Matt Patricia, Mac Jones, terrible offensive system is going to push too many of the Bengals' defensive buttons. And I'm looking at this Bengals offense, and listen, they had like a C-plus game, and they still got over 400 yards against a still respectable Buccaneers defense. I think the Bengals get more healthy, the Bengals get more rhythm, and the Bengals aren't stopping, man. They need to win this division. Bengals winning the cover with the -3.5, making a money pick. Next game, we got the Seattle Seahawks. Call. At the Kansas City Chiefs. Seahawks are +9.5. Seahawks to cover, Chiefs to win by default, right? This is by default, right? I mean, is there any other way we can go? I mean, Chiefs going to overtime against one of the worst regular season teams we've seen in this league's history. Listen, you got to think there's some sort of Alamo from the Seahawks. I never was high on the Seahawks, and the Seahawks burned us earlier this year, but I just think the Seahawks they're pretty much done with this Lockett injury, but I think they come out and fight. I think the defense plays a little bit better. Seahawks cover, Chiefs win. I'm not touching this one, man. Next game of the week. We got the Denver Broncos at the Los Angeles Rams. Rams are +1. I'm going Rams to win in the cover. If you gave me Rippin instead of Russell America Wilson, I would go Broncos here. It's just due to how good their defense is. But with Russell Wilson playing, I think the Rams get the better of this game. I think the Rams make more plays on offense. And I don't think, we've all been talking about how bad Russell is, but I felt like Brett Rippin looked a little bit better, and that's not saying much. But Russell back in the mix. Give me the Rams to win in the cover. Not a whole lot of science there. Next game, we got the New York Giants at the Minnesota Vikings. Vikings are -3. I want to make it a money pick so bad. The Vikings to win in the cover. I know some of you will have the gumption to do it. Let me lay out the case. I will not be betting this game, but let me lay out the case. Listen, Vikings are getting healthier, and Darrisaw was really bad against the Colts. That was his first game back. Vikings will get healthier as the weeks move on. And I do think this Vikings team has something special. Some call it luck, some call it miracles. I call it gumption and perspiration. And I just see the Vikings fighting to the end, making the little plays, playing the situational football that you need to do to win games. And we can't forget, I was on live stream and we live bet the Vikings +21.5. That the Vikings had 14 points robbed from them. There's no other words for it. What can we really say? I think the Vikings come out, they win this game. I think the Giants are coming out of ideas, and it was a good performance against the Commanders. They did get a little bit of rough ball, but credit to Daniel Jones, credit to that defense. But I think this Giants secondary, they're going to have a problem with Thielen and the boy Jefferson. I just don't see how they cover them. They play strict man-to-man, and yeah, Kirk Cousins been taking a lot of sacks, but he took like 7 sacks and put up 36 points. Give me the Vikings to win in the cover with the -3. I think the Giants are fading. Next game, we got the Los Angeles Chargers at the Indianapolis Colts. Chargers are -4. I got the Chargers to win in the cover. If this works down, I'm pounding the Chargers. If it works down, there's a possibility it works down. Some might see a Colts response coming. I don't. The reason why this isn't a money pick in favor of the Chargers is I was worried about what they did on the Tennessee game. I had that game on Patreon, and that should have been easy money. That should have been put in the bag in the early third quarter, but the Chargers left them in the game. The offensive play calling was really bad. Chargers win in the cover, but I don't think we can bet them at this point with how bad that performance was, and we still have to give respect for this Colts defense even after their meltdown. Next game, we got the Tampa Bay Bucks at the Arizona Cardinals. Bucks are -5.5. Bucks to win in the cover, but here's the bet I'm making. I'm going Bucks money line on it. I don't think the NFL will let them lose, and honestly, I think they'll show up this game. I believe it's Christmas night or Monday night after Christmas. I think it's going to be a good game. It's going to be a high-stakes environment. We're going to see Brady play well. And I actually saw signs of life and invigoration and verb with the Bucs offense against the Bengals. I know the fumbled snaps. I know the fumbled handoffs were there. And I did tell you before that game, the Bucs are really, really bad, my friends. Like, we never exaggerated about it, but I do think some Brady magic comes. Defense plays better. Cardinals are in free fall. We might get Trace McSorley again. We'll probably get Colt McCoy, but I don't think that'll make a difference. I'm throwing in the bat Bucks money line. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you share the videos. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. I appreciate everyone who supported me. Let's get this money coming off a big week. Let's go for 2 in a row. And for those of you who keep stalking me, it's getting weird. There's 5 or 6 of you. There's only 5 or 6 of you. Stop doing it. It's weird.